I'm Honorable Sam Locales, the member of this committee.
Alex Kiprono Kurui is my name, also a member to this committee.
I'm Maria Losile, member of Budget Committee.
I'm Honorable Daniel Tuit, member of this committee.
Ronald Cherutich.
Dennis Motonyo, clerk assistant. My name is Albert Kimboy, research.
Jeffrey Kipsoi, member to this committee staff.
My name is David Ngeno, Chief Sajinata.
So we will, I think before we begin, I will give you the opportunity to introduce your team.
Thank you, Chair. I'm Nixon Lemlem, the Chair for Environment and Natural Resources, and also a member of Justice and Devolution. So I'm sitting in for the Chair, Honorable Chepoiwo, who is not here, Honorable Chair in the committee. With me here is my clerk, Shaila Lomong, the clerk for the committee. And also with me is the CC and the two chief officers to present the budget estimates for 2025-2026. So allow me to give the CC to introduce the team.
Thank you, Chair and honorable members and members of the technical team. Good morning. We have come here to honor the invite from the committee, and I have come to accompany the chair with my two chief officers. To my far left is Charles Kipkulei, the chief officer in charge of public service administration and ICT, and to my right is James Chepiegon, the chief officer in charge of devolution and special programs. Thank you.
Thank you, Waziri. Thank you. I thought, I'd seen Honorable Lemlem, and I knew he's the chair. But it seems he has given why he's here, and I also got a brief from Honorable Cheboiwa that he had an engagement, and I think we will just proceed. So let me just give a brief. Chair and Waziri, we are in the process of interrogating the budget estimates for the financial year 25-26, and the committee resolved as per the provisions of Standing Order 212 to engage the county executive committee members through the sectoral committees to shed more light on the proposed priority programs and projects to be funded in the 2025-26 estimates. This process is guided by Section 131 of the Public Finance Management Act 2012, Standing Orders 192, Cap 3B, and 212, 345, County Assembly of Baringo Standing Orders. Waziri, we have myself and the committee. I think we have already introduced. Madam Speaker, no, not Madam Speaker, Waziri, I hope you received the issues raised by the budget committee. I want to invite you to make brief comments. Maybe invite Waziri and the team to proceed with your presentation. And before that, Waziri, you may table your report. Karim. Okay, so being loud. It's
about the system. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Just let's all utilize the microphone so that our system can capture our voices.
Thank you, Chair. So with us is the documentation for our presentation, and I will allow the clerk. You have them? Yes, the Sergeant at Arms has already presented to you. And I can see you have it, Chair. Thank you. So I can allow now the CEC to proceed and make the presentation.
Thank you, Chair, and both the chairs, budget and also my chair. Thank you for the opportunity also. It is true that the request for the report came, and we have acted on the request, and the report that we have tabled, I will go through by giving an overview of the proposed estimates of revenue and expenditure in our department as the priorities for 2025-2026 financial year. We intend to finance key departmental priorities across key offices, directorates, and sections. The department's key priorities include financing the departmental human resource payroll, human resource management and development, also promoting our staff, staff well-being, staff medical insurance, including provision of WIBA, group life, and also group personal cover, digitization of county services and activities, operationalization of sub-county and ward administrative structures or offices, completion and equipping of stalled ward offices, strengthening liaison partnership intergovernmental relations, external resource mobilization and linkages. We also have prioritized payment of pending bills, strengthening citizen engagement through civic education, using the platforms we have established, the contact center, and also sustaining performance contracting as a key strategy for management of performance in our county. Those are the key mandates of our department. And in order to realize these proposed allocations shall be distributed to the subsectors. We are all aware this is one of the broadest department, housing office of the governor, the deputy governor, the county secretary, county attorney, and the seven, and now the coming of the 3 sub-counties, we are saying 10. We are saying 10 yet, we have not yet. It is a proposal that the 3 sub-counties that have been born, we need to talk about it on how do we onboard in terms of budgeting. The new sub-counties are Koloa sub-county, Tiati West sub-county, and Mukutani sub-county. And we will be spearheading programs that are supported or financed by this grant. And I have highlighted very well in the table that is before you that being a conditional grant, therefore, it requires that we have to do counter funding. We are no longer talking about matching fund, because when we talked about matching fund, it means it has to be equivalent of what we have been given. But that terminology was changed to become a counter funding. So that is why we have done the word counter funding. And we have given 16 million. That is a county contribution. However, it's small, but we appreciate that we are able to get this. There is now the grant of 37.5 million, which is going to support, which is level one grant, and it is fast disbursement. This loan is implemented through key result areas, 3 key result areas. Let me use this platform to apprise the committee on this program called KDSP2. I know many of you could have been hearing, and they would wish to know what exactly is this program. And in this write-up, we have tried as much as possible to be detailed. If you go through what we have written, you will actually understand the whole program and how it is funded. So it will be funding 3 key result areas. And again, of importance to me is to tell this committee of the framework through which this program is designed. It is designed in a method called whole government approach. It is supposed to fund both levels of government, county government. It's supposed to support county executive, and also it has an element of supporting the county assemblies and even the county public service board. So in the constitution of structures, that is the committees, both steering and technical, you will realize that all representation are in all levels of committees. I also want to report to this committee, I was surprised when we were in the national platform for this program. Baringo was the only county that has brought in technical representation in things, something called a KRA champion. We have 3 KRAs, and we are supposed to identify champions for each key result area. And in the key result area number 3, which is accountability, oversight, and participation, in my own observation with my team, we thought this one should to be championed by the county assembly, and we gave a KRA champion from the county assembly. That was something unique, that it was appreciated by the partner, that it shows the spirit of togetherness in both levels of government. In other counties, all technical team were coming from one wing of the government. If you go through the minimum conditions, as I said earlier, this is a conditional grant. It means then you have to meet some condition for you to be given the money. And it is called performance for results. You have to perform certain conditions for you to be given the money. We will try our best, because even these figures may not hit our accounts as we write here if we don't meet the conditions that we have been given. We have done it as an ambitious thing because we would not wish to miss any of the conditions, and the committee, I have said earlier, are in the run, trying to meet the conditions that are in the program. Some are not very easy. Some include what strategies do you have in reducing pending bills in county? And there is an assessment that they are going to do, because currently we have already declared our pending bills in the county website, and they know. So when they will be coming to assess, they will want to see the strategy and the work, the roadmap, the work plan that you have in your efforts to reduce the pending bill. And if you have not reduced, the pending bill will have stagnated from previous year to this year, they will not release some amount of money. So the conditions are stringent. I don't want to go into the details. I know you will have time to go through the documents, but I wanted to say that there are two levels of disbursement. First disbursement is at 7.5. This is supporting something called institutional strengthening. This goes to the soft part of strengthening human resource processes, civic education frameworks, issues of accountability, intergovernmental relations, and also it will also support something called County Program Implementation Unit. It's a unit that has been established by the World Bank, and even in the next financial year, they will be conditioning us to establish something called Single Project Implementation Unit that will be coordinating all donor projects in county, whereby if a project for World Bank is in health, another one is in environment, another one is in devolution, they have felt that we are fragmented in the sense that they are not able to trace their resources. So they want to do a unit, and it was Single Project Implementation Unit with a director, whereby when they come in, they just do the activity in like a directorate and then they leave. Now, level number 2 is called Service Delivery Investment Grant. That is investment is a good figure, as you can see there. 352 million is a figure that is intended to go to every participating county that has met all the conditions that have been given. And as I said, we will work smart, I don't want to say hard, so that we are able to secure the full funding of the program. This money, 352 million, will be the first cycle of investment grant, and it is going to fund a project. There is a manual that we have been given for projects that are eligible and the ones that are not eligible. And we will propose how this money is going to be invested in Baringo. And there will be also an assessment by something called APPA. Assessment will be done by Independent Verification Agency, IVA, and they'll be coming here in August for that verification. I think the conditions have been given for you here. One is the county should have established CPIU, Single Project Implementation Unit. We have done it. I can assure this committee, we have done it already. The county should have disclosed an overview of all pending bills. I mentioned that earlier. We have done it. The county has disclosed data on own source revenue collection.
Waziri,
yes.
I'm afraid if we go in that manner, we might not...
you will be tired.
Not even tired. In the interest of time, I think we have the summary here. So you just give highlights.
An overview.
An overview. So you don't go that... If we go that direction. And then what I just wanted you, as you prosecute, I know you have a technical team. There are things you mentioned about the priority programs. It would have been fair if there was a cost to attach to it from like Office of the Governor, so that just we can have a, so let your people work on that as you proceed now to, because I think you have finished the 30 minutes allocated you.
I stand guided, Chair. Thank you for that, because I was worried that the committee would say you've given us information and you don't want to go through the information. But thank you for that assurance that you're going to go through. And now, the second information is about the exact figures that is going to our budget. And we have shared a breakdown, page number 6, 7, and so forth. Because the page number 6 is talking about human resource staff establishment per department. I have the chief officer here in charge of public service. He can go through. Later, I will give the chief officer from page 9, chief officer in charge of Office of the Governor, Special Programs, to take over from the part of pending bills. So Chair, allow me to give Chief Officer for Public Service on issues human resource and payroll.
Thank you, Chairman. Chair, through the Chair, I think you had requested that in the priorities that you have indicated, we cost them. So we commit that before end of the day, we'll supply an updated report with costings of those priority areas so that you know how much you are allocating to those areas. Chair, on the human resource summary, the question that the committee had asked, we have supplied a table which has a summary of the approved establishment per department, the establishment that is approved by the Public Service Board, what we have in post currently, and the variance. And I think it is self-explanatory. Chair, I'd also like to indicate that when you look at this table 1, there is a bit of disparity between the table 1 and the next table, and also how we are currently organized, because by the time the last time the Public Service Board did the approval of the establishment, it was before 2022. So we are operating based on that, because that is the law. It is on the board which is allowed to amend and approve. But we have submitted for them to amend to be in line with the executive order that was issued by the governor upon assumption of office. Nonetheless, on the second page, table, I've indicated the financial year budget for personnel emoluments, which is now in tandem with how we are currently organized. It is the department where we've listed number, that is the number of staff in post in every department, and the total wage bill per department. Chair, what we'd like to also indicate is that as a departure from previous financial years, in this coming financial year, every department shall manage their payroll at departmental level. So every chief officer shall manage that budget, a departure from the current practice where public service has been managing the entire 3.69 billion. So right now, I can say that my burden has been reduced to only 249 million. But we will do overall coordination and payroll management. But in terms of accountability, signing for those monthly returns, and even doing the PCAs and everything related to payroll shall be done at departmental level by every chief officer. This will help us to easily track our staff, do regular updates, because it is easy for that picture to be picked at the departmental level. So I don't think I will go through the figures because it is clear from where we are. The only thing I would like to say that if you note a disparity between the establishment in post versus the number of staff, it is because of the reorganization in those departments. And the example I'll use maybe is on, if you see industrialization, on education, sports, culture, and social services was listed in the other, was a department on its own. But right now, it has been divided into two. So that is the explanation. But the total number of staff who are on the payroll, the IRIS system, which replaced IPPD, is 3,717. The ones who we are paying, and the total wage bill is 3,694,028,794. That is the amount that we managed to secure for this financial year. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, Chair, allow us also to go through the projects that are in our department that we intend to do in this financial year. And I'll still give to Charles. Please, you can take through the team.
Okay, thank you, Chair. I think the question that was asked us, that we supply the information to the committee was projects undertaken by the department that are currently in committed and the ones which are in IB, the system. And these are the projects that are currently ongoing. So we've listed the project number 1, which is ongoing in Samosoi and Samo Kipsaraman, where we are at 90% for both projects. These are projects that rolled over in the previous financial year, but we are actually complete. We are only awaiting a certificate and then we pay these 2 projects. Chair, we have the Nairobi liaison office. The project is complete, but there is a funding deficit in the project, in the budget. So this one you've listed as a pending bill item, but the project is complete and the liaison office is in use. I can confirm that, Chair. Tirioko Ward, these also are projects that rolled over from the previous financial year. It is complete, awaiting inspection, and it's an handover. This one is done. We have planned for the inspection so that we pay. Kisanana Ward Office, we supplied furniture and delivered them, and this is actually paid. I want to confirm that this one has been paid because it is in the last payment that went. Construction of pit latrine in Tenges Ward Office. This one also rolled over because of we had a challenge with the previous contractor. He did the work halfway and then he left. So we have tendered the project afresh, given to a new contractor, and is on site. Project is ongoing. We also purchased office furniture, and this is a project that is ongoing right now. Office furniture and compound fencing at Churo Ward Office at Angul Bay. The project is 2 million and the project is ongoing. This one is not in IB because it is still in process. Kisanana Ward utility vehicle has been purchased. Payment in progress. The vehicle shall be delivered within this month. Completion and equipping of ward offices, Ewalel Chapchap and Marigat ward offices. Chair, we had initially intended to do 3 offices, Ewalel Chapchap, Marigat and Silale. But upon looking at the budget, we decided to do 2 projects, Ewalel Chapchap and Marigat, and Silale has been allocated in this coming financial year. And this one is awarded ongoing. It's ongoing right now. Ajira Center construction at Cheplambus, the chief's office. This one is also committed and ongoing, and the contractor is on site. We have 2 projects, Chair, that are likely to roll over, and the request that we consider them in the next financial year. This is purchase of office furniture and fencing of the Morocco Ward office. The challenge that we had here was on the location of the office, and the Chair, we've had consultation with the honorable member of the Morocco Ward, who is also a member of this committee, and the discussion that we've had has advanced us to a level, and the challenge was on the location of the office because we had 2 places, and the recommendation that came from Public Works was that the initially identified office was to be demolished, not renovated, so it also delayed us. So we don't have big use for this one. It has to be redone if we are to go to that office, but we have another location which is to be considered, but consultations are ongoing. So with the way time is going, we want to indicate this as a project that is likely going to roll over. Supply of furniture for Tenges Ward Office. This one, Chair, this project was done and completed, but you realize that there was a double allocation in the 2024-25 budget, and our proposal was that we reallocate these funds in the next financial year to Simon Kepsaraman office, which is complete, which is going to be completed, because it was double allocation and we could not utilize these funds to buy furniture twice for one office. Yeah, that is it for the projects, Chair.
Thank you, Chair. I think that's an overview of the projects that are ongoing and the ones that are likely to roll over to the next financial year. I think it's clear, and I would, with your permission, Chair, allow Chief Officer in charge of Special Programs and Partnership Linkages, who is also in charge of Office of the Governor, to take over the next question on the issue of pending bills. Yes.
Thank you so much, Chair, all the 2 chairs, honorable members, ladies and gentlemen. I will present page 9, which is one of the requirements that we were called into this committee is to provide the report on the pending bills. And so we have, if you look at that, we have the pending bills from the Office of the Governor, and these bills runs as far back to 2013, 2014, up to now. So I think it is a lot, and I will just summarize. We have a supply of food and food items to the Office of the Governor and also the residents of the Governor. We have companies that supply these goods. I think you can see for yourself, your honorable members. Yeah, thank you very much for that. The second item is supply of research and consultancy for materials like brochures. So that is one pending bill which looks very much massive. That is Kenya Literature Bureau. They did that service, and the pending bill is about 8.7 million. It is actually, yeah, 8.7 million. And then if you move all the way up to the end, we have also pending bills that are accrued from maintenance of motor vehicles. And we have boggles, we have car general, we have stop speed, and other companies. Yeah. So those are the pending bills. But what is not provided for you, honorable members and chair, is the totals of the pending bills. I would like to tell you that the pending bills in total initially was 66,440,000. We just managed to pay 280,000 of the pending bills. So we still have an outstanding pending bill of 67,015,000 of the pending bills. Thank you.
Chair, it's a very detailed paper, the document. If you look very carefully, much of our pending bills is media. As I was analyzing, I realized we have quite a huge bill on issues of advertisements in various media houses. But as I said, we have an obligation to draw a strategy on how we need to settle our pending bills. And as by the CEO, these bills are historical. We just, most of them are just bills that have been there. So as you said, government exists in perpetuity. We inherit and we try to do our best. And finally, Chair, part 6 of our response is prayers to this committee that we presented, and our requests earlier, they were considered. However, if you look at this budget, you realize that we have a ward office in Barwesa, which is already 80% complete. We were implementing it in our last financial year. But then this office is not operational. It requires some additional funding for completion, equipment, and operationalization. We intended that this project is going to be supported through ward specific, and it's like it wasn't possible because we have not seen it in the budget. But as a department, we feel that a project that has gone to that level, you can actually support, especially with the coming in of the Baringo West sub-county. That will be the only office that can really support the sub-county as well as the ward as we progress in doing the sub-county offices later as time goes by. Secondly, Chair, the creation of the new sub-counties, as I said earlier, we were not able to secure any funding line within the budget, despite our prayer earlier. And as we are all aware, the national government have gone ahead of us, and we realize that the sub-county deputy county commissioners are already in the newly created sub-counties. It is our prayer also as county government that we try our best also to implement and put our presence in those sub-counties. At least we get the 3 sub-county administrators as we look for more funding to establish the offices. So it is our prayer as a department that as we look on some few amendments here and there, we consider the 3 sub-county administrators. We had already forwarded, but it's like we never secured. And thirdly, is it is tied to the second one, but again, we all are aware that we have 11 ward offices, yes, that we did give sub-county acting from various departments. This was just a stopgap measure to bridge the gap that was very much pronounced in terms of government presence in the ground. That was a stopgap measure that we had projected that going forward with the subsequent budgets, we will pray that we get substantive ward administrators. We are still on that, and we pray to this committee that ikiwezekana, we get 11 ward administrators. However, they are doing a good job. We must appreciate on the acting capacities. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Waziri. I think I'll start by just giving some few questions, and then I'll allow members to. So, your last statement, administrators, but you are not mentioning. You know, here we want to hear about figures. We are not interested with. You tell us we want. This is what we budgeted, or this is what we propose. So I think that is very important, so that you answer that one. What is the cost implication? The other issue that I wanted you to, the new sub-counties, that is Baringo West, Mukutane, Tiati West. What is the county plan in terms of operations and personnel, and related budget implication? And again, are you just following what the national government is doing, or do you have, what is the interaction? What is the legislation that brings these sub-counties to, because you know we'll be talking about budgeting and everything. And is it just, you just say now, Baringo West is a sub-county, so the president has said so. So what have you done? What was the arrangement between the national government and the county government? Does the assembly have a role in bringing those sub-counties to life within our county? What is, you need to tell us more about this. And also, what are the budget situation? Because for some of us, we feel like it is creating it's a new dimension on budgeting. And what is your take? How will we put it in practice as a county? The other issue is you have pending bills, and you've given an explanation on how these pending bills are occurring. You know, these pending bills, you have a budget. How you generate pending bills is it you are caught by time so you don't spend the money that you have, or you overspend so that you are not able to pay? We don't understand how you are getting pending bills and you have a budget. And if it is about historical, because I can see listed is just names of maybe suppliers, people who are giving you maybe milk from shops and everything. So why would you consume items from people and you're not able to pay? And I'm not seeing a pending bill of your allowances and the rest. You paid yourself allowances, you paid everything for yourselves, but the shopkeepers, the mamambogas, and everybody is in this list as pending bills. Don't you think that is not fair? So if there is historical and you are continuing the same trend, so even yours will be historical. It's already historical because we are in 2025, 26. So what pending bills of 24, 25 is historical. So what is your length of history? Is it since devolution or since last year? Or we want to understand that so that we are well positioned. Then you have mentioned something about consolidated payroll and versus now the departmental payroll initiative. You want to migrate to departmental payroll. What informed that? We were, before in departmental, we moved to consolidated. Now we want to go back to departmental. That is the history that we have. Can you give us what has made you go that direction? We are very concerned about, you realize recently, like yesterday, we were dealing with an ad hoc report, and majorly it was about these payments, salaries, and all this. So when you're introducing this one, is it speaking to the ad hoc committee, that report, or how do you intend to pay monthly salaries, maybe even manage the care issues and all this? Because that is what comes to our minds immediately when you suggest that you want to do this. Then I also have a question on the issue of the enforcement officers under your office. You know, our biggest challenge is revenue collection, on-source revenue. So what have you done to ensure that it becomes functional? I have also, so with that, the cost of every item that you mentioned, anything you mentioned that you want this to be done, we would really love to know about the figure, so that then finally, you know, Waziri, we had an ad hoc report yesterday, and you were also listening, and you must have heard about it. What could be your take, especially, you know, we are in budgeting, and some of the officers, maybe revenue, the council secretary office, the public service board, were mentioned. And what is your take as far as finances are concerned? Because that is the biggest issue. What is your take? What do you advise this budget committee to do? Like if you say the revenue department is not functional, then as a budget committee, we will be tempted not to finance. What is your take? That's just, so I will allow members to shoot their questions so that we proceed, and let's try to be very fast so that I think you list everything so that you will share amongst yourself and you answer it in totality. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. Madam Wasiri, my issue comes with the issue of wage bill. Makuno now, Baringo County, we are spending close to 51% of our budget to pay salaries. What is the plan of your department, because you are in charge of human resource? Which plans do you have to ensure that we reduce that, or what measures have you put to ensure that we reduce this wage bill, to the recommended 35%. Because now we are spending a lot of money in paying of salaries with the expense of development in Baringo County. Secondly, I understand in some departments there is, what plans do you have in terms of staff rationalization? Because now you can get a department with many staff doing the same job. Do you have a plan of doing reorganization of staff in Baringo County so that we don't have people doing the same duties at the same place? We can even do transfer of services from one department to another. Because you can get even about drivers. You can get in a department, they have about 10 drivers. And they have only 2 cars. So 8 drivers lies idle, and the 2 drivers are committed. What are your plans so that we cannot have labor which is not being used? So I think that's the contribution of this. Secondly, which rationale did you use in terms of construction of ward offices or sub-county offices? Because now you can get now in you can get other sub-counties, they have sub-county offices, and other some wards, those even many wards doesn't have ward offices. Which criteria are you using to construct in ward offices in some places, you'd leave others? Or which plans do you have? What is your program in terms of ward offices and sub-county offices constructions? Thank you.
Next.
Chairman, it is like we will not have a lot of questions for this department, but it also appears that this department is not may not have interacted with this budget before it is here, before it was brought to this committee. Because why am I saying this? I'm seeing some recommendations from the department of increasing staff in ward administrators and sub-county administrators. And Waziri, you know very well that the budget that is on our table is balanced. Where do you think we can source for the extra money to recruit the same staff from within? Number 2 is the question of wage bill that has been said. I don't know if you people are really observing the question of wage bill that Honorable Simon has already indicated that it is now going to 51%, and it may now, according to your proposal, it is encouraging again a rise in the wage bill. I don't know what you really have to say about the same. The other question is just to add on, is a question of the chair about the pending bills. Every year, the office of the governor is getting allocation. Every other year. The same question that the chairman put. Are you under budgeting? Or what is the reason? Because I'm trying to look at your suppliers, at the suppliers that you've listed here, and it is like some of them may even close shops, Waziri. I'm looking at one of our merchants, Bei Nafuu. That is where we normally pick our shoppings. If you owe Bei Nafuu all this money, this should be about 1 million. How do you expect the same vendors who are from this county, who we are supposed to be supporting, to survive? Another question is about the huge bills. Look at KSG, about 500,000. The media, all this money. Does it mean you've not been paying the media, or does it mean you've not been budgeting for the same? Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. I think that is a very important point, and I feel we will help you, because it's just a question of taking 50% of your allocation and we pay. Because honestly, you're not ready to pay. You have 68, you say 68 million. When will you pay that? If you look at your new budget has more than that 68, but you're not ready to pay. Next. let me go to tweet.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, Chairman. Chairman, I want to ask one question to the CC devolution about ward offices. Chairman, I know this idea came in the year 2013-2017. The idea of erecting ward offices. It came in 2013-2017, first year, devolution year. My questions are this. How many ward offices have you completed and functional? Second is, how many are ongoing? Third question is, how many are you intending to build? I'm asking this question, Chairman, because we've been giving money to these ward offices since devolution. And some of us have not seen an office in our wards. And many other wards, they have not got an office. And we've been giving money to complete the first started offices. We've not gone even the second or the third. And we are worried that some of us have no offices. We are still financing the first offices that we started 2013, 2017 to now. That is my question, Chairman.
Honorable Maria.
Okay, thank you, Chair. Mine also, I think Honorable Tuit has mentioned something that I was to ask about the ward offices, because since the time we came in, we got that some wards have the offices and some doesn't have up to this time. Okay, and to add on that, another question to add on that is that what time, or do you have plans for the wards that have not that you have not constructed the ward offices, or what are you planning? Another question is about the new sub-counties. Waziri, I don't know whether you are ready, or your department is ready to handle those new sub-counties, because the people or the communities at the ground are very happy about their new sub-counties, and they are looking forward to see that their sub-county is being served as the other sub-counties that were existing. So I don't know what plans do you have for those, and even the employment for the staff in those sub-counties. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Honorable Koech.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, Chairman. I was a bit late. I'm trying to catch up with... Thank you, Chair. I was a bit late, and I'm trying to catch up with some issues which were created by the department. My question is, just one question, is that Waziri, you normally sit in that committee of
Deputy Chairman, there is something I've forgotten. I wanted concerning the pending bill. The chief officer had said that this is a pending bill from 2013 to, you didn't specify, is it from the time you came to office? Have you created another pending bill, or this is a pending bill prior to 2022? Because now, what we had agreed with during the budget committee making process, that there is no, you cannot procure anything without a budget for it. So maybe you can enlighten us. Is it a pending bill prior to 2022, or it has after 2022 you created another pending bill?
Maybe, Chair, a supplementary question, totally different from whatever you're asking. It's just a comment from the CEC devolution about the staff that we have in agriculture that were employed recently. I'm trying to ask myself, we employed them for a contract of 3 years. So it means they already have a budget. They are paid salaries and everything. Is it expensive having them on contract or in permanent basis?
Thank you, members. I think I just wanted to, because I was looking at this issue of the pending bills, and you know, it is so surprising that even consultancy, they offer a service, and if you don't pay, they will not give you the reports. Meaning, you might be engaging in activities without reports. Especially, I've checked the even consultancy. We even have newspapers. I mean, you have taken the newspaper, or you have made the advert. Honestly, if we are employing people today, you put an advert. Already you have a budget for that. Why are they not being paid? And you see, Waziri, this could be the reason why we get even negative publicity as a county. Because if you are not paying the standard, you are not paying the nation. And the standard is owed 1.2 million. The nation media group is owed a lot of money. Even the Star, you even killed the Star. I thought that was a very small. So it is a lot of money for even royal media services. So how will we survive when all these media houses gang up and give Baringo a publicity that is negative? So I would request that, I know this is not possible to, but we will want a total figure, and you agree with us that we must pay this money. We have, just like in your priorities, I think pending bills should be a first charge. Before even you look for tea, before even you look for fuel, why do this? And you cannot meet your last expenditure. And you are not clearing. So I want to give to you, I think members have exhausted. Maybe there's just one question I want to. The KDSP 2, construction of county headquarters. How did you arrive at this decision? Was it a consultative process? Because is it the decision you made at what level? Some of us are hearing it for the first time. So this decision, because 352 million is good money for Baringo, that now we have even pending bills. Why did you, or I don't know what the parameters entail, but if it allows you to pay pending bills, then we would rather even pay pending bills than putting up structures. We have put up a surgical block. It is now 10 years down the line, it cannot be operational. We are told today we need, for mechanical works, we need around 60 million. So why was it not factored? So now when we want to equip, we are told mechanical works first, 60 million, then now equipping is 600 million. So we would really want to know how did you prioritize this?
Total. Was it? So,
Chairman, I mean, in this column of bending pills, we need to have the year. Please include for us so that we know which year was the bending pill.
Thank you. So, Waziri, you are welcome. Chair, you are welcome.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you also for the questions that you have highlighted. We will try to respond to the best knowledge and as per the status of our offices. Most of the responses, especially issues pending bills, I have with me the accounting officers who are dealing with a lot of requisition payments and so forth. I think they will be in a better position to answer those questions which have been raised by quite a number of members on the pending bills and also human resource. I want only to respond to the last question as I give the mic to the CEOs on how did you arrive at the decision of the county headquarters. I want to say, I alluded earlier that the donor gave a criteria of identification of projects. So there is a list of eligible projects and list of the ones that are not going to be funded by the project, by the program. The issue of pending bills is not ineligible or is not fundable as per the program or the condition of the donor. Also, projects that were earlier done by World Bank and incompleted. You see, they feel like maybe in your work plan you are not efficient enough and you cannot borrow more money to go and done with the same project. Sorry, for lack of a better word. But they expect that projects that were initiated that time were taken to maturity. And that could be the reason why we may not take the money to BCRH. Because, you know, for your information, BCRH was funded under KDSP 1. And they expected that we complete as per the work plan then. And I believe it's going to be done. On how we identified the project of county headquarters, one is the existing gap in the county government, that we have quite a number of departments that have no office space. A case in example is the ones that are renting in various structures within this town. Like for example, those who are housed in Mwalimu Plaza, the ones in AFC building, and also the fact that for management purpose, His Excellency the Governor, who is our team leader, we had gone to propose and ask his thoughts about it, and there were quite a number of proposals, and he thought this could be a good project for him through this program. So we picked it. However, it is not yet cast on stone, but we believe it is a fundable project and it is going to have an impact for the county. Chair, allow me to give to Charles to respond on some issues on pending bills, and also James. Let them tackle the issues. Why it's a very viable question. Why the pending bills? So Louis.
Thank you, Chairman. I think I'll start with the issue of pending bills, and my colleague James will also contribute. Chair, I wish to state that this problem of pending bills is, it is not just pending bills that have happened within this financial year or the last one. It is historical, and as Waziri has indicated, we own and we take responsibility because government is a going concern. What we have done, and as a policy that I want to confirm here, is that in the last 2 years, particularly in this financial year, we have had a very significant reduction in the pending bills. Our policy is a progressive reduction and also strengthening internal controls. When you look at an institution like the Kenya School of Government, staff used to go there and just train, and they say county will pay. By the time you even know someone, you may not even know that someone is training there. So we put as a level of controls where you cannot just be released, and we have reduced that to a very significant level. We've had conversations with most of these institutions and organizations so that they also play their role, because sometimes they take these liabilities and they load them onto us without that mutual agreement, because sometimes as an accounting officer, I can only release an officer when I know there is money, but someone will want to go to train and say we will look for money wherever. But what I wanted to say, my point is that we have strengthened internal controls, and I want to say here also that there is a policy that our CEC has communicated to us of zero debt in this financial year. In our activities, particularly when we do events, you notice that by the unique nature of our department, we have a lot of activities that are recurrent by nature. And the policy that we have adopted in this financial year is zero debt, where if you go to a hotel, we look first, do we have money to do that? So I want to confirm, in this financial year, we've not been accruing any new debt. And the funding that we were given in the last financial year, and this, the one that is ending, to clear pending bills, we have done a very significant reduction. The challenge that we have, Chair, is that there are we have an overarching responsibility as the department that has a coordinating role. I want to give the example of the County Public Service Board. When there is any advertisement for vacancies that has to be done in this county, and there is no money available for advertisement, the burden of advertisement is loaded onto the devolution department, because we have to advertise. Sometimes a pressing media issue may arise, and whereas there is no allocation, the assumption for a very long time has been that communication and the office of the governor will load that up. But based on that zero debt policy that we have adopted, we've strengthened controls, and we have various levels of consultation to ensure that we reduce. If you look at the pending bills for the devolution department, you see the list is only 8. We came in with a list of almost close to 100, and we have reduced to this number. And also the office of the deputy governor. Where we have still a challenge is in the office of the governor, but I want to confirm also that whereas most of these bills are recent, most of them are in the process of payment. It is only that in the spirit of accountability, when we were asked to supply information on a bill that is pending, we supplied that because the invoices have already been supplied to us, and the indication that we have is that by the close of the financial year, which is a few weeks from now, these bills will have been reduced, particularly for these suppliers. The area we want to strengthen is on media and communication, so that we have a communication policy. How do we engage media? How do media houses cost their services? And we also reduce that. I want to confirm that even right now you don't see legal pending bills here, because most of them we've we've gotten allocation to clear those bills, and we've reduced the ones that are there, and we continue to minimize, so that we also, the challenge we had initially was that a law firm will come and quote a fee note, which is not agreed mutually. So you go to court and they tell you, "E case will be 5 million." Yet the amount available was probably 500,000 or something. But because it is public interest, we must appear in court, and we have to have representation. So what we want to do is that I want to confirm that we have a zero debt policy. Currently, we are reducing these bills, but we have inherited so many bills, and it was because of the lack of internal controls. I want to concede to that we didn't have those internal controls very strongly. But right now, the policy of zero debt is that we must have fidelity to the procurement plan. If that item is not listed in the procurement plan, you do not proceed with that activity, or you look out for ways to carry out the activity, which is why you see sometimes we carry out functions outside our parking so that we reduce going to higher venues and everything else. So that is on pending bills, but my colleague, maybe James, will finish up on that. I wanted so that I do not come back on the ward offices, because that is an office that is directly in my department. Mheshimiwa asked about what is the criteria for selecting which office do we fund, which one do we not fund. I want us, Chair, to appreciate, first of all, that the problem we have inherited is that of underfunding of these projects. The BQs for the completion of a project and operationalization and equipping of a ward office will be around 6 million. But when you look at the standard amount that is allocated to construction of a ward office is 1.5 million to 2 million. If you are very lucky, we achieve 2.5. It's only this financial year that I've seen 3 million. What that means, Chair, is that we will only construct a ward office to a certain level, and then we'll need to secure funding in the next financial year to finish the building. Then we need to look for money also to equip the office. That is when it becomes operational. And that is how we have ended up with offices which are contracted, but they are not complete. Others are complete, but they are not operational because there is no equipment. So the request that we've had, which is why if you look at our development budget for this financial year, we are prioritizing operationalization and equipping of ward offices, so that when we think 100%, when we put money in our ward office, is that ward office able to be operational within that financial year? So that we finish one project and we are done and we go. And the other challenge was on this is why most of them was, the one which was told. The other point is that because of this long period of living offices, some of them in areas that are a bit remote and do not have a lot of security arrangements around them, there is vandalism which occurs. So we are forced to go back. Instead of continuing from where we left, we start to do renovations or almost fresh construction of these offices. So and others, sometimes when we have ward projects which are funded by ward-specific funding, through that model, we'll wish to sustain that funding so that we finish, because the problem really is underfunding. That is the problem. But right now, we have prioritized operationalization, completion of the ones which are not done. And by answering this, I answer the question of criteria. That first of all, we look at which office is at risk of vandalism and loss. We go and secure that office, we complete it. Also, we look at which region, which sub-county does not have proximate access to service. How many of our ward administrators within this region do not have offices? We prioritize that area so that the residents of that area have proximate access to service. And our priority for that, Chair, has been mainly Tiati East, Tiati West, which has had a problem. And we are really working hard, even in this financial year. A bulk of our ward offices are going to that, the Tiati East and Tiati West, to be able to bring them at par. But also in these other regions, it doesn't mean that we are ignoring them. Because if we build and we leave these other ones, then while we are doing new constructions, we are completing and operationalizing new ones. So that is in the area of ward offices. Chair, on payroll decentralization, because that is also under public service, which is my docket. The experience that we've had over time is that when we have a payroll that is centralized in the public service, I sign the payroll for 3,717 staff. I am not humanly able to have an exact picture of each and every 3,717 staff in the whole county. But when you break down these staff to departmental levels, and you break down the payroll byproducts to departmental level, chief officers are able very easily to track their officers, to be able to know that so and so is at work. This one has a disciplinary issue. This one was even transferred. It is easier that way. So for ease of management, for efficiency, accountability, and for strengthening of utilization of monthly staff returns, we felt that it is better for us to decentralize staff payroll processing. However, that does not mean that we are decentralizing the payroll office. What we are only doing is that the data for payroll management is going to be decentralized, so that instead of only coming to one desk, which is public service, every chief officer at the end of the month will receive that document, scrutinize it, sign and approve, then they send to the central office of public service, to our office, where I will now do the consolidated payroll, which goes to treasury for payment. The idea here, Chair, is only to strengthen the controls, to be able to have more accountability, and for us to utilize staff returns much better. And we feel that that one will help us to just have a better managed payroll system. On enforcement, there's a question from the Chair on enforcement officers. We have a strategy to enhance our current enforcement section to be an enforcement and inspectorate unit. Part of that, we've started with the staffing, because the biggest challenge that we had was the strength. There are very few officers, and you are all aware that we have a process that is ongoing, and we thank also the Assembly and the House and the other committee for the value that they have added into that process. In that strategy, we started by staffing the strength. We are going into equipment. We realize, Chair, that our officers, when they go out even to do arrest, they do not have any equipment. They don't even, if you are even to arrest anybody, we don't even have handcuffs. So how do we arrest these people? So we are looking at equipping. We give them more uniforms, including ceremonial uniforms, officers. Because right now, the enforcement officers do not have a central place, because that is part of the challenge that we have in the county of office and mobility. There is no dedicated vehicle for the enforcement team.
Chief,
yeah.
You see, like, when you talk about the tools of operation, have you, like, you know, we want this guy to be like a policeman, to arrest people legally. So do you have in place guiding that process? Or you just want to give people pistols and handcuffs without necessarily aligning your what you want? Because I believe there should be something guiding that process, so that when you have an officer, enforcement officer, there is, assuming this officer, like what we are witnessing now, someone was arrested and died. Assuming these officers of yours arrest somebody and somebody dies, what happens? So do you have, can you paint the picture of how it sits in the framework of policing and everything?
Thank you, Chair. I was actually coming there. You know, the mandate of the enforcement is to enforce county laws, which are actually passed by the Assembly. So we have a manual and a training. So before we do all of this, we train them, because this is a unit that has a legal mandate established under executive order and also by law. And the first thing is, before we tool them, we train them. And part of the strategy that we have, in fact, Chair, I want to confirm that we are planning a very serious refresher training and a training for the ones who are coming in fresh, so that we not only train them to know what they're doing, but also to rank them, so that they become a disciplined force which has, it is a regimental force, a regimented force which has chain of command and instructions. And that way, they'll be trained and they know mandate, and they also do not overstep and overstretch where they are not supposed to do. Their activities is inspectorate and enforcement of county laws. So training and tooling is part of the strategy, and that is the immediate strategy that we have to deploy immediately. The recruitment of these new ones was to be completed.
Okay, there was a plan to have county courts. I don't know if you are aware.
Yes, Chairman.
And if you are aware, how does, because if you arrest somebody, you take that person to where? Do you have a cell? Do you have, how do you do it? Or you take to the police station? That kind of.
Yeah, Chair, thank you. Currently, under the current, we work in collaboration with the National Police Service and the courts that we have at the moment. If there is anybody who is found to be in breach, because the laws passed by the Assembly are the laws of the Republic, punishable by law, and the courts that we have also have mandate over that. But the program and the plan that we have is to establish a county court, which will be domiciled here at the fire station. Once the building is complete, we have actually advanced our discussions, including having an MOU with the judiciary on establishment of the courts. They will send the officers there, and also so that they're able to reduce the case backlogs. Because when they end up there, the courts, the cabinet law courts, they are charged for petty crimes and minor misdemeanors, and also that occasions loss of revenue to us as a county. So we want to confirm to you, Chair, that the plans of establishing the court for the county are there. We are at the level of identifying a suitable space because they did an inspection, but the ones which we identified was found not to be suitable because we need cells, we need a place where the magistrate can sit and offices like that. Yeah.
Chief, I think so it is word that we don't get any money from the enforcement. Someone is arrested, it goes to the national government.
Yes, Chair, it goes to judiciary because now
So
that is the only arm that prosecutes.
Then it means we have created also an avenue for the police to be picking money because that person will easily be compromised. So unlike when we arrest and we bring to our court cells here and we charge so that we make revenue. So do you think that is something of urgent, that needs urgent action? Because that is revenue.
Yes, Chair, I confirm that. And that is a priority that His Excellency Government directed us to do, which is why I say that we have a framework agreement with the judiciary. The only thing that has remained was for the establishment of the courts, where we identified initially was found not suitable. But in terms of revenue loss, that is part of the reasons why we really need to set it up, implement, and have it operational.
The other idea would be, as we establish this, why did you not have an arrangement? The government arrangement so that the monies they collect should be remitted to us. Why is that difficult?
Chair, the structure as at now, as I said earlier, is that when we take them, you realize even the cabinet law court itself has a capacity challenge in terms of space and everything. And the moment somebody appears before the resident magistrate, they appear before the judiciary, and the process of judiciary are undertaken under the purview of the judiciary. So we are not able, there is no space for that. The only space for us to get our money is for us to arrest those ones who violate our county laws, take them to the county courts, and then from there we have control, because right now we do not have that control. Yeah. Thank you, Chair. And I think now, just to finish on the new sub-counties, so that I hand over to my colleague, on new sub-counties, what is the role of the county, and what is the plan? As a county government, there was consultation during the process of establishing these new sub-counties. The only challenge here is that when these sub-counties were established, they came mid-year into the financial year, and we started planning. It is we have directive from the cabinet that these new sub-counties have to be operationalized, because when new sub-counties come, it is a question of service delivery and bringing services closer to our people. Now, how do we do this? The processes is that we need to have a new executive order that will establish these new sub-counties, and these laws will also be gazetted, because it will not just go for us to have legal mandate to spend at these sub-counties. Then those processes are ongoing. And for us, we were consulted, and we have intention to hire 3 sub-county administrators and to operationalize these 3 new sub-county offices. What we are going to do, Chair, is that in these areas where the sub-county offices are going to be headquartered, that is where we are going to have the sub-county offices, which is why we asked for support for Barwesa, which is Baringo West. And in our budget, you'll note that we are constructing Koloa Ward Office, which will also serve as the sub-county headquarters for Koloa. Now we are in the process of addressing the Mukutani issue. But all of them, the first thing is process must precede everything that we are going to do, the legal process, the executive order, and now the gazettement, so that we are able to fund, which is why we are raising the matter, so that for consideration and the matter comes before you.
Chief, I have a question over the issue of Baringo West. If it is true you were consulted, you know, this Baringo West sub-county is something that has been mentioned for long. And you and me know the idea. The idea was the lower Kerio areas, that is from Tenges down all the way to West, was what was termed as the Baringo West constituency. And the idea was not just about the name, it was that these people have common problems. That is an area that is marginalized, that is an area that is facing so many challenges. And the idea was if they have a Baringo West, there are issues which are common. So I'm surprised if the government was consulted, why was the lower Cabernet left, lower Sacho, lower Tenges left out? So I think we will be interested to get how you engaged and why others were left out.
I think, Chair, I have an answer to that. We all know that the consultation is also at a very high level, political level. And the biggest consideration, there are many factors which were used. Apart from the geography, the security issue. The insecurity issue was the overriding concern when there was these new sub-counties were being established. The consideration was how does government open up the areas that have insecurity challenges and carve out others so that they are able to deliver more. So the insecurity challenge became the priority consideration during the establishment of these new sub-counties. And our consultation at that level was that as a county government, we have a commensurate role. While government is delivering security interventions and structures, we deliver the service delivery component of it. So I want to say that because of the insecurity challenge, that which became the primary objective of establishing these new sub-counties, this other area of Kerio Valley, which stretches all the way into Baringo Central, was not considered. What I am aware also, Chair, and you know, for the benefit of the House, the chairman is my MCA and also my constituent. Baringo Central was in the picture of the establishment of a new sub-county, which was to stretch along this other lower valley. But that process was shelved because they said, number one, the emergency and the urgent matter of the time was for security consideration. Thank you.
I have a question, but I'm not sure if it's a relevant question to this department, but because they are coming from devolution. Chairman, I have a problem with how the revenues are collected. I've gone to many markets, especially in Tiati, and I've seen how they collect money. It's like all this money collected in markets are not reaching to the county account. Because, and I want to ask this question, that you are the department who is concerned with devolution. You are the department which the county we are looking on you on the side of revenues. I have a doubt, Chairman, that revenues are not collected in Baringo in the right way. I have a doubt, Chairman, that money collected from our markets, it's like it's not reaching to the county account. All money are not reaching to the county account. But which show me ways that you have done, ways that you have put aside to make sure that this money collected from markets are reaching to county accounts. Yes, that's the question. Another question is, because you come from devolution, okay, yes. Then let me ask like this. What admins and sub-county admins come from your department? What is the work of ward admins and sub-county admins? Another question, Honorable Speaker, is I've heard you talking about new sub-counties. Are you sure we have 3 sub-counties in Tiati. We have Tiati East, which comprises of Tangul Bay Ward and Chura Ward. We have Tiati Central. I've not heard you talking about Tiati Central. Tiati Central is comprised of Loyamorok, Silale, and Ripco. And we don't have Tiati West, we have Koloa. So those are the sub-counties in Tiati. Thank you.
Thank you. I think I want to shield my member from the chair that, when we talk about sub-counties and we talk about revenue, like you are very much aware that the CRA talks about Baringo with a potential of 2 billion. Now that you are the department in charge of enforcement, and we know revenue collection is an act between enforcers and clerks or revenue clerks. So I think you have to try your best to answer that question so that it enriches our pursuit in terms of getting to know the real situation. So I want to encourage that our time is really gone. Can you just summarize?
Thank you, Chair.
Okay, let me give the honorable member, and then you will just summarize.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, Chair. I have two questions. One of my questions was almost asked by Honorable Engete, Honorable Tuit, is the MCA RIPCO, about the issues of sub-counties. Recently, my attention was caught by Governor's remarks at Barwesa, that he wanted to, he was speaking at Barwesa that they are going to elevate Barwesa from level 2 to level 4. Currently, as we are speaking, most of our sub-counties are at the level 3. Or almost all, not even all sub-county hospitals, Marigat, Ravine, Mogoto, Chemolingot are level 3. Now, Barwesa is coming here with a lot of speed, surpassing from level 2, surpassing level 3 to level 4. I have not heard the governor speak about Tangul Bay. Tangul Bay also was, 2022 was elevated to sub-county level, and I think they are still struggling in level 2. Or if there is level 1, I think they are still there, with almost 4 nurses, 2 clinic officers, and they are still very far. What is your plan in terms of ensuring equitable services to all sub-counties without having favored any sub-county, especially the new ones? Is the same plan of Barwesa to Kolo also, because Barwesa and Kolo came at the same time? Is Kolo going to be elevated to level 4, just like Barwesa? That's my question. To Chairman, I was asking also about our markets. I don't know if issues of markets are with you or with the Treasury, but my question was, who is doing the gazettement of our markets? Who is supposed to gazette the markets that we have? And how is it done? Because I'm concerned, Chair, most of the revenues are supposed to come from our markets. But you find, Chair, most of the markets, especially in most parts of Tiati where I come from, are not gazetted. And even some don't have revenue collectors, clerks, and enforcement officers. And we are targeting to have close to 1 billion our own source revenue. How are we going to get this own source revenue if we can't find new avenues for collection of these revenues? And then lastly, on your staff, the administrators, why are some of the positions which were supposed to be advertised for ward administrators, we are getting information that there are information that some people have been given to act, seconded. But when even we asked the Department of Public Service, they are saying they have not done official secondment. Who is supposed to do these letters to those who are doing? And this position of administrators, they have their own budgets. How are also these administrators assisting you, assisting county governments to ensure that we get more revenue collected from wards? Or it is their sole responsibility only when we are doing budgets, when we are going for public participations, the rest of the time, they are not giving support on issues of revenue collections in our wards. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, member. We want to appreciate, we have our CEO Treasury Planning. Is here with us, Banangetich. So you are welcome as we continue. So Waziri, I would really ask that you give us just a simple summary.
I agree. In the interest of time, I want to almost like summarize most of the questions that were done, but I want to reiterate the fact that sub-county administration plays a key role in terms of running of day-to-day government business. And one of the government business is generation of own source revenue. There is a big role played by all levels of sub-county administration in terms of one, and also creation of a conducive environment for economic generation of information and reports to relevant offices, including any erroneous activity that may have happened. And I think that is one of their mandates, to report on day-to-day activities that go on in the sub-county activities across all the departments. On this issue on source revenue, I know that it is our core mandate, but as a devolution, as I said, through administration, through ICT, the issue of automation, I fully agree with members that we are not doing well in terms of revenue collection as county government of Baringo. And in that spirit, we will actually support any measure that would really support or elevate our abilities to increase on source revenue, including what we have suggested in terms of staffing and also automation of services, because we are delivering as one. So our ailment as executive should also worry the assembly, because we are all residents of Baringo. So on the question earlier, I have not forgotten, Chair, on my opinion or my take on revenue office collection. It is true, we are not operating optimally. However, that should not kill our morale, that we may not resource the office. No. We need to re-strategize, and I want to report here, KDSP2, one of our key deliverable is to support, actually it is KRA number 2, supporting county governments in realizing their optimal ability of own source revenue. And I believe the department have been given capacity by the National Treasury enough for them to do what is necessary to be done under that KRA. Because it is in the prayer of this program that by the end of each financial year, we should be having progressive. Contrary to that effect, we may not be given something fast. So it is like a carrot and stick. So we want to pray that the department wameweka mikakati ya kutosha. Using now, you have been given resources, capacity building. So what next is needed? It is people to work. And I want to believe it's going to be done. Finally, Chair, on the issue of postings of acting ward administrators, I think it was a consultative. And as I said earlier, it was a stopgap measure because we felt that a third of the county was not having administration. And it was consultative with the area MCAs. There was no secondment. It was just added responsibilities to the staff. And Mheshimiwa who came later on the issue of those ward administrators, we were praying for substantive, but again, I am very much aware and conscious of the wage bill. I have a feeling that in the event that we don't get a budget, because we have been praying 2023, 24, 24, 25, now we are in the same 25, 26, we are planning to do a very big program on rationalization of staff, of our staff. We want to go through the staff establishment of Baringo County. And again, I will refer to the program because it identified as one of the gaps. That we, as much as we are saying we have a high wage bill, again we still complain our staff are few. There could be a disconnect. So we want to dissect our staff establishment in our work plan that we are planning to do in July, August, September, dissect, and we want to pray that the product of that exercise will improve something to do with our wage bill. Thank you, Chair. Maybe give CEO to say something as we wind up.
Thank you so much, Chair. I think mine is, I just want to clarify something on the pending bills. I think my colleague, Chief Kipkulei, talked so much about what we have been doing about the pending bills. And I think Honorable Kiplagat Saimo asked about if these bills accrued, if they are historically, did we also incur more pending bills? For example, we came in with the new chief officers, we came in 2013 June 1st. I want to 2023. And I want to admit that we have accrued new bills also. However, it is very small compared to what we came and found. For example, if you look at that report you have, which is on page 13, you realize we have some of those pending bills go way beyond 2020. For example, we have two major bills. Renovation of the office of the governor, which gulped about 13 million, and then there is a bill of quantities by a company called Kiri Consultancy, which is about 30 million. So those are bills that came way back. I want to report to you, Chair, that since we came here, we have really constituted some austerity measures.
Chief,
yes.
This KRI consultancy, 30 million, what was the activity?
I think it was for the construction of our headquarters. And I think it came some years back. Yeah. Yeah, structural design for that administration block.
You have already a plan?
Planning. I think planning you can. Huh?
Or the consultant did not release anything for you because you did not pay. Did you pay? Was it?
Chair, in the spirit of all government approach, the planner is here. And he can tell us historically because of the institutional memory. Kindly teach.
Okay, thank you, Chair.
I want you to highlight, and we are summarizing, please. Highlight that one on the, talk about the general bill. What is your take? Because there was a time we agreed that every department to sort their pending bills. And we agreed that in every budget situation, they were going to adhere to a certain percentage. Now, this bill of quantities for KRI, 30 million, and also there's a renovation of the governor's residence of 13 million. So maybe you talk about that. Renovation of office of the governor. Office of the, yes.
Okay, thank you, Chair and honorable members. I think the issue of pending bills, as the Chief has said, these are bills which have accrued from 2013 to date. And specifically, the one for 30 million was for structural designs of the county headquarters, which was not constructed. Initially, around 2015-16, there was some money which was put aside for construction of the headquarters, which was about 80 million. But in that financial year, it was not tendered. But due to constraints of budget, that money again was lost. But the person who was designing was given a duty to perform. So I can say that I have not seen the bill of quantities, which should be there, because for it to be a pending bill, that means there is there was a contract between the county government and that company. So the bills of quantities are there, and that's why we have a pending bill. And generally, Chair, in terms of pending bills as a county, I think I can say that we are not doing badly off, because the total pending bills, as per the Office of the Auditor General, we are about 243 million as at the end of last year. And as you have said, in the current financial year, that is supplementary one, we factored some money to reduce these pending bills, which has really addressed, especially the money that for the hotels. So I think you are aware, we got some budget about 70 million across all the departments. So you can see that we are still, though we are addressing, which should be gradual, even this year we can get some money, which in the budget that we submitted, we didn't specify a pending bill, but we are urging all the departments from the small budget they got, they can still address, they can put something small to address those pending bills. So when you see the Auditor General's report, I think Baringo County we are among the 10 counties with smaller pending bills. So we will address it gradually as we move. So I think I have answered. Maybe I can respond on something on the markets, Chair. To address the issues of revenues, all departments are actually revenue collectors. Treasury is actually the receiver of these revenues. Markets is actually under the Department of Industry, Commerce, Tourism, Cooperatives, and Enterprise Development. So that I am actually addressing the question from Honorable Locales. So markets are under Department of Trade, Industry, Commerce, and Cooperatives. So maybe when they come, they should be able to answer that question.
Thank you, Chief. I think, Chair, you take us home. We are really late. So
yeah, Chair, thank you. Because I think because we have spent so much time, I don't want to add anything, but to say thank you for the opportunity. We are grateful. I only make a request. My CC is in Nairobi on Senate auditor. And since she's the one standing for my committee, I would request that you allow the environment to come in. I also have a matter to attend, which is very urgent. Thank you, Chair.
Chairman, I don't know, is that closing remarks or a plea?
Yes, it's a closing. I made my closing remarks.
No, you see, that is out of order, Chairman. That is something else. You will come with your story if we are not your story, because you must be having authorization from the CC. You cannot just come and create your own CC. So thank you. So Sergeant Atam, you can show tea or there is lunch, but CEO Treasury planning will remain so that you want to say something. Okay, very quick.
The issue of wage bill and the new sub-counties and what that means. So I think the CC has said it well because of the wage bill. And as he has put it, I know our wage bill is so huge. And I would advise the way she has put it, as the source for those what admins and sub-county admins, if it will be possible, as she has said, if we can do it internally, we may, so that we don't increase the balloon the wage bill. I think we'll be heading to the right direction. Thank you.
Thank you. I think that is something to note. They did not even answer. I think we asked whether there is some engagement. I would really want, maybe in the near future, you will have to organize so that you even appraise the you participate in the process of elevating another place to be a sub-county. Because at the end of the day, it will be about resources. Actually, this clamor for sub-county and outside that is, so it's not even about, why would you create 4 sub-counties for TRT and it is one secure area as per perception how they live? Where is insecurity in TRT? Thank you. Please, Waziri and Chair, have a seat. Can you have a seat? Chair, Waziri and your team, welcome to the Budget and Appropriation Committee. We are in the process of interrogating the budget estimates for the financial year 2025-2026, and the committee resolved, as per the provisions of Standing Order 212, to engage the County Executive Committee members through the sectoral committee to shed more light on the proposed priority programs and projects to be funded in the year 2025-2026 estimates. This process is guided by Section 131 of the Public Finance Management Act 2012 and Standing Orders 192, Cap 3B, and 212, 3, 4, 5 of the County Assembly of Baringo Standing Orders. We have an hour to share between yourself and the committee. So I'll invite members of the committee to introduce themselves. I'm Ernest Kibet, Chair.
Okay, Simon Kiplagat, the Vice Chair to this committee.
I'm Honorable Lokales, the member of this committee.
Honorable Alex Kiprono Kurui, member to this committee.
Mheshimiwa Maria Losile, member of this committee.
Ben Koech, member of this committee.
With us also is Honorable Tweet, who has just stepped out. And on my right is the County Assembly Technical Team, so I will allow the clerk to introduce the team.
My name is Kiptum Jonathan, the clerk to the committee.
My name is Ronald Cherutich, head of budget.
Thank you. Dennis Motonyo, clerk assistant. My name is Albert Kimboy, research.
Jafret Jepsoi, staff attached to this committee.
I'm Emmanuel Kubai, answer reporter attached to this committee.
Thank you. I think the officer standing is our Sergeant at Arms attached to this committee. We are also joined by the Treasury team headed by the CEO Ngetich, planning, and I can also see another CEO and this technical person from roads or from. Okay, maybe at that time you'll introduce, I think. So fine. Chair and Waziri, I hope you received the issues raised by the budget committee. I now invite you to make brief comments. The chair will make brief comments, then you invite Waziri. And before kindly, you table your report. And also, since I have eyes, I can easily identify that the Waziri that we have is not Waziri for Agriculture. So maybe you can also send us a letter appointing you now to be Waziri for Agriculture. Chair, Karibu. So let's just be cautious with time. Chair, welcome.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Diana Siriti, standing for Chairperson, Agriculture and Blue Economy. And we're presenting the budget estimate for Agriculture Department, Livestock and Blue Economy. So with me is the clerk for Agriculture, so you can tell her name.
My name's Faith Biwat, clerk, Agriculture, Livestock and Fisheries.
Okay, thank you, Chair. Here with us is the department team from Agriculture, Livestock and Blue Economy. And at this juncture, the CCM Agriculture is not around. He's on official duty. And she assigned the CCM culture, but the CCM got an emergency in the office. The donors have come to her department. So we also requested the CCM roads to stand for her. So this is a letter authorizing Waziri Likonaya to stand for Waziri Rispa on her behalf. So this is a letter I'm submitting to you.
That's in order, you can table that one.
So, Chair, I'm handing over the submission or the introduction to the department team.
Point of concern, Chairman. I have, with my knowledge, we know we have 2 chief officers in the Department of Agriculture. And we saw another, the both of chief officers were here. But now we are seeing only one. Where is the other chief officer?
Maybe we allow the minister to introduce. We don't know. Maybe you know these people nowadays camouflage, so we don't know who is the CEO. So can we allow the CC to introduce so that maybe you can answer that question?
Thank you,
and maybe
Chair.
you can table that letter plus you.
Yes.
But let him first introduce.
So, Chair, let the CCM introduce the team and continue with the report. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Engineer Lekonaya Kibolel. I'm sitting in for my colleague, Rispa, who is on official duty away from the county. And as the Chair has mentioned, Honorable Lemashep had been earlier appointed to sit in for her, but she's gotten an emergency meeting in the office, and the letter authorizing my sitting here is on its way. The earlier letter is for Lemashep from our authority. I hope you can allow me to proceed as we will table the letter. And I'll be sitting in for the 2 departments.
Order, Minister, you know. So the letter you have is not.
Yes, yes.
It is for Lemashep.
Yes.
I think, honestly, from that we'll just excuse you first, so that, because I don't see, you know, you put the committee in a very precarious situation, because the person who had been given the letter is not here, and then the letter is transferred. So what the department has done is just look around, see us, get a CEC, and honestly.
Chair, if you allow me, the department was supposed to appear at 8:30. That is when the CC for culture was available. And since the time changed, I was called in to sit in for the chair, the CCM for agriculture.
Okay, thank you. I think you all know, the department should know, it is in your best interest. How you present yourself to this committee is how we will treat you. So we are just giving you our view that if you are not well composed, we will allow you to present. But I believe strongly that you must look into it. How you come to us is how you get treated. So if you are comfortable, we will allow you to proceed, because in the interest of time. But honestly, next time we will not allow that, so that we are not seen, you know, this is a serious decision we are making, and we don't want to look like we are disagreeing. But even most of our questions that we will ask, for your case, you have to do written submissions on the questions that we'll ask, so that it helps us, because that now will put us properly into. So I think we can proceed, Waziri.
Thank you, Chair. And I'll be sitting in concurrence for the 2 departments. That is why part of my technical team is here. If it is okay, that I can sit through the 2 sittings for roads and for agriculture.
Waziri, what are you saying?
I'm saying I'll be starting as the CC for agriculture, and immediately thereafter,
Okay, let's clear with agriculture. Then.
So I was seeking your indulgence if you can allow my team from roads to be seated while we deal with agriculture.
No, you see now they're even causing a problem. Our chief officer cannot get a seat. So your technical team for roads can wait outside.
Okay, stand guided.
Yes, because why are they here? And your time has not come.
I stand guided, Chair. Thank you.
I wish the chief officer should not look like a director. So go there. You know, this one also is a serious setup. So,
Chair, I think my microphone is not working, and I'll allow.
okay, let me make a clarification on the microphone. It is not for the speakers, but for the machine to capture our voices. So don't mind about, just ensure your voice, you're audible enough.
Okay.
But basically for answered recording. Thank you.
Okay, Chair. I'll let my team introduce themselves, starting with the Chief Officer.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Dr. Milka Chelagat Soromo, CEO in charge of agriculture.
Chair, honorable members, I'm Windot Chemjor, the Chief Officer of Livestock and Blue Economy.
Chair.
You know, we are in live recording, so just ensure the mic is on.
Okay. My name is Richard Bundotich, the County Director of Livestock Production.
Chair, my name is Okeyo Mofile, the County Director in charge of Fisheries.
My name is Abuji Vincent, Director Agriculture.
Thank you, Chair. We got your letter. Reference is made to the letter for consideration for county budget estimates, and here is the documentation. We can present to you before you.
So you can table the report and even the letter. In the future, when you are making copies, the budget committee is a membership of 9 members. So when you bring copies, unless you have a soft copy for those who have laptops, but it is important. We have a technical team of around 4, 5, especially the clerk, the fiscal analyst, and the accountant. So maybe at least we make sure you do some copies. Thank you.
Chair, I will allow my technical team to lead on the responses on the letter addressed to us.
So, Chair, honorable members, we did respond to what was requested. There's a letter here, I think, should accompany. So the first item was we provide an overview of proposed estimates of revenue and expenditure on the departmental program for the financial year 2025-2026. So the allocation for the department for that time is 428,768,978 million, which we compare with the other year, which was coming to 655 million, which is significantly below by 34%. In that, the recurrent expenditure comes to 29.8 million operations and maintenance, and 22-23 0.3 million for compensation of employees. So we normally get 150 million for operations and maintenance optimally, when we operate optimally. But what we have been given is way below. And this goes to extension services at the headquarters and the ward levels. So also takes care of disease control, surveillance, leading to upsurge of livestock and crop diseases. So in the year 2025-2026, we provided an annex in our report, which I think is self-explanatory. There's an annex showing that. And the 252 technical staff, they require to be facilitated in terms of fuel, equipment, office space, stationery. The same staff also require skills for development. They also require promotion. I think the last promotion was done in 2021. So they require promotions so that they get motivated. Then the programs include acquisition of equipment and operation of the milk cooling plant. We also carry out an fruitation program. We also have the ATC, which is supposed to be operating maximally, and the AMS. So the allocation of 175.6 million is not adequate, especially when we have to contribute matching funds, improve accessibility to farm inputs, including seeds, fertilizers, AI services. We are yet to bring Maui Abata to fully operational. It is at 95% completion, and it is yet to be complete to be operationalized. We also have a milk processing plant in Eldama Ravine, which is also almost 70% to completion. In terms of revenue, there's an improvement in revenue collection. In terms of licensing the fishermen and fish traders, we collect up to 1 million. And each revenue stream is well defined and captured by the Treasury for proper accountability and monitoring by the department. So just to say, agriculture is the backbone of the economy, and it needs to be empowered. Especially that we have extension officers now in the field. They need to be mobile so that they can offer the services. So we provided an annex to that. I think I'm through with the first question or the first requisition. The second item was we were supposed to comment. Chair, do I proceed up to the end? Okay. The second item was we were to comment on conditional allocation loans and grants provided in the financial year 2025-2026. We've just mentioned two. The first one is abbreviated as FCRP. It is Food Systems and Resilience Project. It is a World Bank program. Amount is 173 million. And then the counter fund is 10 million. KELCOP is a project funded by IFAD at 42 million, and the counter fund is 5 million. Food Systems will be working with SACCOs. We'll be working with SACCOs and assisting the farmers. Our third item was we were supposed to provide a comprehensive summary of report of human resource stating their description, authorized staff, establishment in the post, positions, and the budget requirement. I want to say, Chair, that the staff, there's a summary of the staff in the department, that we have 94 permanent and pensionable staff. We have those on 3-year contract at 138. And then staff on 1-year contract at 12, and the casuals at 25, casual laborers at 25, totaling 269. We provided everything, all the information in terms of staff establishment, we provided a list of staff in the department who are under IBPD. We have provided a list of staff who are on contract. And then we provided a list of staff on contract. And then finally we provided a list of casuals who are working within the department. Chair, the fourth item was we were supposed to provide a list of all projects and contracts committed and projects that have been in the IP. In addition, we provide projects that are not committed. And we provided there that completion of ATC, guest house, at 5 million is at 60%. Payment status is a rollover of 4 million. Equipment of kitchen and dining hall at ATC still require 3 million, it's a rollover. Purchase of beddings, 2 million. Provision of Wi-Fi and lights and CCTV, 1 million. Finishing and equipping of guest house, 10 million. Mochongo store, farmer store, and dryer room, 5 million. Arama cooperative, 1.1 million. Arama cereal store, 3 million. Then we also provided, Chair, I don't know whether I'll go through all of them, but these are the projects that have been committed and awarded, and they are waiting for payment. Do I need to go through, Chair, all of them? Okay. Because it's a long list. But those projects which are on the IP include Cabrobita Ward fuel subsidy to AMS, Cabrobita Ward hire of AMS machines, Cabrobita Ward fuel subsidy for plowing, Cabrobita Ward support to AMS, and then Cabernet Ward to AMS, Cabernet Ward fuel to subsidy to AMS. Then number 5, comment on the departmental pending bills, stating the vendors, suppliers, creditors, and the nature of bills, and the total amount of bills, and the measures taken by the department to address the bills. Number 1 is on the supply of soil scanners, costing 1.599,750. Conference fee for recruitment at Kedfree. Remember, we recruited 148 staff, 149, and we have not paid this fee up to this time. Trade fee for SK, 520. Construction of Chemukutan kettle dip, it is complete, but there is no money to pay. Same for construction of Kablegate kettle dip, 1.8. Parwesa award was done by a company called Kurdan at 1,999. It has not been paid, and that is for development. In the recurrent, we have postal services costing up to 800,000. Supply of coffee for testing at coffee mill. Farmers provided their coffee for testing. We have not yet paid the 500,000. Supply of pulping machines at 150,000. Then there is hire of transport. There was fertilizer which was rejected, and they are in a store in Mogotio. For the last 2 years that's been lying there, we have not been able to pay. And it's supposed to be an exhibit. So it's supposed to be taken to Weldama Ravine. So we were estimating to use 200,000. We did induction for the new staff 2 years down the line. We have not paid the service, the facility which provided, that is 200,000. We also hired security, Bonaris, some time back, maybe my directors will explain later on, if need be, and we have a bill of 500,000. And then last item, Chair, is we ought to comment on any matter that may help in consideration of the estimates, revenue and expenditure for the financial year 2025-2026. The department has capital projects, including Maui, Abata milk processing plant. We have slaughterhouses, Parwesa, Loruk, Ngendalil, which are nearly to completion. And this will be, it's a request of the department, if priority is given so that we complete them and we start generating income from them. The department has the capacity to absorb all the funds allocated now that we have enough staff who are at the ground level, at every ward. Then we are making a request of the special consideration in the management of the community-owned resources, which include fisheries, rangelands, which require additional funds. We also thinking of optimizing irrigation within the county. Then to safeguard human health and maximize on revenue collection, there is need to employ and capacity build meat inspectors. As we talk, Chair, Honorable Chair, the meat inspectors in the county are below 5. We had requested to employ 8, but it's not yet there. We are not yet there. We've even requested some of our staff to be on their own so that we'll later on take care of them. So they'll be going in September, but we are waiting for these other ones to be employed. Then there is need to replace staff. We'll be replacing staff as they retire. And then all the staff are due to promotion. I did mention earlier that the last promotion was done in 2021. Then lastly, Chair, the extension units need to be expanded for more sub-counties from the 5 to 10. Like we have Barwesa now. It means now we have to go there again. We have a sub-counties officer and we distribute it accordingly. So thank you there. That's my presentation for today.
Chair, allow me to give my other CEO to make 1 or 2 comments.
Thank you, Waziri. Chair, members, I just want to add one item that my colleague forgot in the budget consideration for 2025-2026. We have a guest house in ATC, Ravine, which was constructed way back. And during that time, because of the inflation of prices in construction materials, whatever had been allocated for completion of that guest house, the contractor has not been able to complete the guest house. And that is a place where the whole county could be going there for its functions. So according to the assessment that was done by the Department of Roads, we need around 20 million to complete the guest house and equip to be operational. Otherwise, we have a lying building there which is not in use, it is not complete, and it has actually costed the county to a tune of around, Chief, is it around, the budget was 17.9 million has been used there, and it is not in use. So that's one of the concerns that I think it had been left out. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. That's our submission.
These projects that are talked as flagship, even the one the CEO has mentioned, the guest house. No, some of these projects nobody can see today. The end of it. The small houses, let them know about see it as budget and allocation of heaven. There's a time I stood at Maui to see what was happening, and honestly I could not tell what is happening there. So I don't know, this guest house again, is it, you know, the other day we saw an activity there, so I don't know if it was Mamamboga or what was happening there. And honestly, there's a lot you need to tell us, because, you know, so many questions are coming up. Are these things done for optics? Or what is it? Because if you're asking for 10 million, we are asking ourselves, when we made a decision to build these structures, how do you start? You know, a government house is not built like your own house, where you can start with a foundation and then you go for some time, then you collect materials for walling, then you will come and do finishing. Government structures are designed to detail, to finality. If it's an abattoir, it is designed to detail to finality. We have another example here of the BCRH. We are told now the mechanical works were not included. So how was it expected? And you know, this was a donor-funded project. Even Maui was a donor-funded project. Why now the donors are saying, like now what we have been told today, the donors are saying, we will not allow you to use monies that we are giving now and direct them to projects that we had financed early. Meaning they suspect you are not diligent. So like Maui, we need a proper answer as to what is happening. Because imagine this government is almost 4 years old or 3 years old. They have not been able to operationalize Maui, and we were being told it is complete. And the same department has consumed a lot of money. If you look at your O&M, you had 600 and something million the other time. So that is one question that I would want you to answer. I will allow members. There's the issue of some of the, like KELCOP, the FSR, are they already appearing in the budget, or it's still outside the budget? And maybe that is something you need to confirm to us. I've also seen you have a fisheries department, and we've just allocated, I think, 1 million. I don't know, even the salary of the director is more than, it can be more than the allocation per year for the department. So is it a job opportunity or it's a service delivery unit? Because if you are just allocating 1 million, honestly, Chief Officer, how will that directorate function? And you know the theme of, you're even going against our party manifesto. You know, I'm a majority whip of a party, a serious ruling party. And the theme of this Madaraka was maritime. It was blue economy and maritime. Now, how do you support the just, Chief Officer? By allocating 1 million. So I will allow my members to contribute.
Thank you, Chairman. Wasiri, I'm seeing in these casual laborers, the list you have stated here in summary, you are contradicting yourself. You say you have 25 casual workers, laborers, but in the list you have indicated you have 19, the names. So there's a variance of about 6 casual laborers. So can you clarify on that? Number 2, I wanted to know, in this list of casuals you have indicated to us, are they among the ones who have not been paid for the last 7 months, or these ones are in the payroll? Are they in the payroll, or those ones who have not yet been paid for the last 7 months? Secondly, issue of AI services. I don't know, when we budget for AI services, are we supposed to, as members of the County Assembly, during public participation, the AI services is needed to be done by ward, or is a county-wide issue, which is supposed to be budgeted at the headquarters, so that we can distribute evenly the issue of AI services in Baringo County? Thank you.
And also in that issue of casuals, is the casual pay in this emolument package, or it is money outside the payroll? When we talk about casuals, what do we mean? Where is their money?
Do I answer that?
Yeah.
I can answer the one of casuals. Most of our casuals are in the showground, and we normally do the showground money. So once we are through with the showground, with the function, we pay them and that's done. Like we pay them in September and we are done. The casuals in ATC are paid by ATC. The casuals in AMS are paid by AMS.
So why did you indicate 25 and you have 19 here?
I think there's something missing here. It's a printing error. There's something
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Chair. Chair, just also to say something about the casuals. I think the missing are from AMS because I cannot see casuals from AMS. I can only see casuals from ATC. But now I'm looking at the pay, 23,750. That is constant for all the casuals. Is it the true reflections of the payments of the casuals? Number two, number two is about the AMS. I'm seeing a lot of money in AMS and we cannot consume. Equipping of the kitchen, Wi-Fi, purchase of beddings and all these things. And in ATC, initially I had given a proposal that if you cannot complete the, what do you call the structure there? The guest house, yeah. If you feel like the guest house is expensive to complete because it is taking ages, why can't we venture into another value chain within the same ATC so that we can realize something? Because if you go to ATC, Chair, there is nothing to make you even smile, nothing to make you happy. I feel like we can mobilize all these resources that we have here. Let us have a breeding center, maybe for goats, sheep, or even cows, so that we can have something to demonstrate. You know, ATC is supposed to be a demonstration farm, but if you look at the animals that are in ATC, cannot even compare with the animals of the farmers just across the fence. I feel like the department, if you can still amend your proposal so that we can see something in ATC, I think it would be good. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. I was also wondering, what does this guest house entail? Is it a place to sleep? Who has to? I mean, what is it? Is it a business idea? Because if it's a guest house, maybe there is. Because I'm imagining when we complete the guest house, they will tell us, you know, we don't have a kitchen to cook for the residents. I'm assuming it is intended to accommodate people who will come and, I don't know, it's a night out. Because if there is no activity, then are you doing the business that Wananchi are doing outside here to create places where people can night and just enjoy themselves? Or are you, what is it?
Maybe Chair, allow me to give my directors to elaborate where we are now. Because anytime we're operating, I want it to come from him, and then Director Abuja can explain what is happening about this.
Okay. In regard to Maui, the slaughterhouse, what we had said is not 100% complete. I think we're told for all. And where we are now, of course, with the contract that we were given out, being supported by EU, nearly all of them are completed. But then that was not enough. And you rightly say that the funds which are available were not enough for everything. So, but for the structures that were required, the main structure, we have done all that. Except a few things like but for that, I think we'll be getting some support from the Telco project to be able to put up those structures. But by and large, we can say the facility is now going to 95% complete. And also already we have water, we have electricity, we have even the killing box and all those other things that are required for the slaughter of the animals. We had also a budget that we did the landscaping and couple works. And the couple works, I think, I even talked to the contractor this morning, if the process is actually completed to make the place actually looks okay. The other issue is that we want to identify an investor that will be able to run the facility. Already we have prepared an expression of interest. But before we do that, we have to carry out the public participation because we can't just list it out. And let of the community, we have to go around fast to agree on that. Then from there we proceed with the expression of interest. Otherwise, that is the spirit because looking at the facility, it requires somebody who has a good capital outlay to be able to run that facility because it's a class A. It is made actually for export. So it requires somebody who has the capacity. So once we have agreed, we have done the public participation, we are also being supported by Can Invest actually to so that they will assist us to identify a potential investor. So we will be doing the public participation, and then after that we'll do that. The next stage is to do the expression of interest. So for people actually to apply, bring their proposals, then we'll check, we'll go through them. Then whoever will find that person actually meets our expectations, that's the person will start now engaging. So basically in terms of construction, if we had a serious investor and we have done all our logistical issues, then it can be able to run. Director, you are saying if you had a serious investor, I mean, how was this thing conceived? It is like, did we visualize that? Because assuming, you know that you're almost talking to the viability of the project. Because if you cannot get a serious investor, it means your project was not viable. What I just meant is that if there is nobody who is in an agency of starting it, the structures which are there actually can be able to be used. But then, you know, until we follow the process. So maybe assuming you are talking to potential investors. Yes. From your pre-feasibility studies. And you know we are also live. Some investors could be watching. Can you give a sneak preview of the potentiality of this project? If I was to come in as an investor. Yes, as I said, first the capacity of that facility actually is it's able to slaughter 1,000 small stock and 200 large stock. But then what limits a slaughter facility actually is the storage facilities, which is something that an investor could still come with a mobile cold chain, meaning that the capacity can be increased from that 1,000 even to 3,000 per day. As we speak, the storage facility, the cold rooms can accommodate 1,000. Yes, what you have there. Yeah, that's what we have. So once an investor comes, an investor can do two things. One, can offer just slaughter services. Like some of the slaughterhouses in Nairobi, which are exporting, they provide slaughter services. Somebody, a business person goes to Middle East, let's say Qatar, he gets an order of 3,000 carcasses per week. then what that person will do is to tailor his export with the cargo planes, which actually normally carry the such goods to those countries. Then he goes now to the field to get the stock of livestock. Even when you go to Nginyang, you'll discover that the number of animals, the number of goods that are sold, most of them actually end up in the export slaughterhouses, because those people who buy those animals, who export the carcasses, collect from various points all over this country. So it is still the same thing that we have our animals here. We get an investor who wants to export. That person can do the slaughter. At the same time, they cannot just offer the slaughter services. By slaughtering, storage, then transporting the carcasses to the airport, and they will to somebody else now will take up from that point.
Maybe, Director, there's something that there's a disconnect. You know, for the coffee mill, at least we could see the end of it. And farmers are already using the coffee mill. For farms costs, the milk is, you can see the end. In fact, when I visited, I found that already some of the circles are already even producing some products. So it means farms costs, we can see the end. Why is the slaughterhouse model different? Because we already have sale yards. Why have you not thought of introducing a cooperative mechanism? That's the same way we've introduced the farm schools, so that we incorporate all these sales here, so that they are the ones now who bring the animals. And if I know, as a farmer, that I can bring my animal and I get just the same way we do Kimalel goat auction. We don't pay instantly. Farmers bring the goats, and then we pay them later. So I see there is going to be a challenge if it's like you're letting go of this slaughterhouse to be run by private people. Who are these private people? What is the place of the farmer of Baringo on this issue? Because as we are financing ourselves, we are putting the farmer as the centerpiece to benefit. But now, you see, if I come as a business person, I can decide not to pick Baringo goats. I can decide to go to Isholo and bring goats which are cheaper.
Maybe, in addition to that, Director, concerning that Maui, what is the target of the county government? What is the, do you have a target of revenue collection in that? And how much do you expect to collect from that abattoir? Number when are you intending to open this thing? When are you intending, because you are saying you are looking for locally for an investor. This project has been, we have been thinking about this project for the last, how many years? About 5 years or 7 years. And now we are heading to 2027. We have not even done, we have not concluded. When are you intending to complete and make this thing to be functional?
Thank you. Okay, on the first issue regarding our farmer, one of the things that we are looking at, this class A abattoir, as I said, it requires a good capital outlay. Number two, I've said that we'll do the expression of interest. An expression of interest is open to everybody, up to and including even cooperative society, which are available in this county, even individuals in this county. And as I said, under expression of interest, you'll be giving a proposal. You will be telling us what you intend to do. As county government, our interest is the interest of our farmer. And from there, we'll go through MOUs. We have to sign an MOU. And first priority should be given in terms of anything, if it's employment, if it is the animals we purchased. Animals should be purchased from within the county before somebody is thinking of buying animals outside. So part of the MOU that the county will enter with the investor is to protect the interest of our farmers. That's one of the things that we are looking at. On the issue of revenue, as I said, like any other slaughterhouse, this facility, if we'll be slaughtering 1,000, say, small stock every day, we'll charge the normal sales of 100 shillings and also a fee for the meat inspection. We'll also be giving out we charge a permit for meat transportation. So we'll be collecting all those. Like what we were doing when the dengue thing was operating. We were doing an inspection. We're collecting money for that. We're also doing sales per dengue slaughtered. So at least we'll be able to collect revenue out of that.
The county government has used money, public money, to build that facility. And an investor comes, will they use only an place, we charge the revenue in terms of meat inspection and the livestock they are doing, the slaughter. What about the investment we have done?
Now, I said we lease out, and leasing out is that they will pay a certain amount of money that investor will be paying.
Thank you. Let's proceed. No, we've seen there's 3 million and 1 million. When we look at the recurrent you are allocating, we can easily tell what you are. Okay.
Yeah, on the issue of the ATC guest house, 2 years into devolution, the national government passed over the ATCs and AMS to the county government. And as a department, we looked at the potential of the ATC and then how best we could be able to run it going forward. So one of the things that came out clearly is that the available infrastructure by then in terms of housing, accommodation, was not in the best of the condition. So we decided that why don't we improve the accommodation that's available and then also add more new accommodation. So we came up with the issue of the guest house. The guest house actually encompasses there are rooms for where you can actually spend the night, some good rooms compared to what we have. There's also the aspect of the kitchen, the gym, and we're also proposing that in the long term we'll even have a swimming pool. Initially in the 2016-17, we budgeted for about 7.9 million. That was the engineer's estimate. But all along, we have not had adequate allocation for the project. And the time that has passed by, the aspect of inflation has been able to now push up the cost of the project to date.
Proceed. Thank you. Thank you, Chief Officer. You see, I think me and Alex, we have an experience with this, what you call ATC, AMS. We try to engage, and I'm shocked that you are saying they are autonomous. They are not autonomous. I remember the AMS guy could not even procure fuel for us, so we ended up getting tractors to the farmers, having allocated fuel. I think the experience I had was the worst because the tractors were in the farms without fuel. We ended up borrowing fuel from petrol stations. We sat down with the AMS guy and he gave us how this thing can be operationalized. We even allocated money for allowances so that we have a seamless process. But what happened? The department took away the money. I'm told you took away the money to Kimalel and the rest. So it is not autonomous. Let's just say it's just...
Chair, it is semi-autonomous.
It is yeah. I think Waziri now has come to your rescue. It is semi-autonomous.
Corrections accepted.
So
there was that issue about AI. The AI services. Somebody has asked about.
We even have a memorandum from we call them BASCO. That's a civil society. They looked at the amount allocated, which is 2 million. And they were questioning, what is it? 2 million for the entire Baringo AI services? And we are talking about improving. Like, if you are saying you want export, because you see, when a director, you build a class A facility, but your existing farmers will be selling what they have. But this farmer does not have the quality that meets class A. So can you explain what you mean by the 2 million?
Okay, what I wanted to say is that under livestock upgrading program, we use mainly AI for the dairy animals. We are talking about dopper rams, we have talked about color goats, and even cereal bulls for areas where we are not doing dairy, and even sometimes boran. Now, in a situation, a member had asked, is it supposed to be done at what level, or is it supposed to be a county affair? What I wanted to say is that what we normally implement is what is budgeted for. And once the budget comes out, we realize that certain, possibly 2 or 3 wards are put some money for AI, for the AI services. Some are put for some money for gala bags, another one for doppership and all that. All those are part of the livestock upgrading program. But I just wanted to agree that it is good to synergize, so that when we are procuring, we procure what we know that in this particular area, this is what should be taken care of, and we also do it at the same time. One challenge we still have is that we as a county, actually, we don't offer the AI services. The insemination, actually, the hack itself. That's still where we still have a challenge, and that's why we prefer mostly using cooperative societies who have already, they have their own AI service providers, so that they can be able to serve the livestock there. But also the amount of money. It's our wish if we could get that 22 million, actually is like 10%. If we could get something like the 20 million, then we can say we are somewhere. So I think... but
I thought this, like the 2 million is extension service, does not necessarily mean AI alone. Like we employed extension officers who would be attending to several products.
Yes.
So, when you were requesting to employ extension officers, it was a very good idea.
Yes.
But now, if you don't facilitate them, then they convert into private practitioners. Meaning, yes, I'm employed, but the government has not sent fuel. Then the farmer now will tell him, why don't you come to my farm? Then the station officer will say, I'm waiting for fuel. Then the farmer will say, no, let me send you fuel.
I think that was the first statement as the CEO was raised by saying that we have staff. We were lucky that a number of the staff were engaged starting from Mali last year. Those officers are there. They need the facilitation. I think that's an issue that we raised even at his opening remarks, and we still request that we be keeping additional funds for extension, not AI, but for extension service. That is actually for fuel, to make sure that those officers on the ground are mobile. But this one, specific one on AI, should be a different budget item for the supply of AI semen. But for extension, we also require additional funds to be able to take care of the staff. Yeah.
Any other question which is pending? Chairman.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, I'm looking at on-source revenue sources. And Waziri, you'll realize that animal stock sales fee in the year 23-24 was 13 million. 24-25 for the 6 months was 8 million. The projection for 25-26 is 25 million. You come to veterinary services, 23-24 was 2 million. The projection for 25-26 is 12 million. And the rest from your department. Do you think the projection is achievable? The projection for 24-25, like you've been allocated by Treasury to contribute for on-source revenue, is it achievable?
Okay, thank you. I think so that you wind up, we want to summarize all the questions that we have, and then you'll just finalize for us. We have even, there was aloe vera farming. Yesterday, I saw an entrepreneur who came to my area with pizza, pizza farming. There is aloe vera. You know, there are so many good stories about Baringo that have been talked about, but how do they patch into the government? You know, for it to succeed, it has to have you. So what is the strategy for aloe vera especially? Because aloe vera looked so promising. Even the Bexa looks so promising. In fact, if you look at the tree, it looks so colorful, it looks something nice. So give us your word on that. And then also, we are looking at what is your overall absorption rate as at now, especially on the development expenditure for this, the recurrent, because we always predict, we are always in the know about recurrent. It is almost, I'm sure right now it is 100%. But absorption, can you tell us where you are? And will you manage to implement before the close of this financial year? Because honestly, if you are not able to absorb, and you know the trend, most of the members, or most of even the ward fund, is always inclined towards agriculture. So can you tell us about your absorption as you finalize, Waziri?
In terms of development, we are at 40%.
Sorry. I'm saying currently we are at 40%, and we look at we procure all these items, and we manage to pay. We let somewhere. We are at 40. Yongine sitaki kusema. Acha nisisema ni 100.
Chair, allow me to respond to that. And I think this one, Chair, that is why we are requesting resources to this department. This is a department that we are overstretching with the responsibilities. And again, in terms of these investors coming in to invest in agriculture and other sectors, we need to bring our heads together as political leadership and the leadership, the executive side of us, so that we create a conducive environment for those investors in Blixers, cashew nuts, and the rest of other investors. We know there are so many that coming in, and the department headed by His Excellency the Governor is very keen on developing and encouraging these investors into Baringo. There was one question about revenue. allow Chemjor to answer that.
Before Chemjor Chair, just to help Waziri, we are in the process of having the CASCOM bill that will help us in regulating those donors and everybody that will be coming to the county government. So it will at least sort the issue of investors coming on their own without that very clear procedure.
Actually, I think even like the Pixar experience, you know, at the end of the day, people will ask, because, you know, the story is so enticing, but now as the government created the proper engagement so that our farmers do not get entangled. You see, when prospectors or those people who want to bring these crops are coming to us, they come with very sweet words. But you know, behind the sweet words, there are other things that can easily entangle our farmers. Like the way we lost the cotton farming in Kerio Valley. The investor came with an incentive to provide farm inputs. But the rains, they did the first year, it was okay. The second year, the rains disappeared. So the farmers were enticed to do the third year. When they did the third year, the investor recouped everything. So the farmers did not earn anything. You know, that alone was, I think, we need a government engagement so that it guides even the investor, how they invest their money and how they can easily recover their money. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. That is a very good view. And I think, as I said, we need political goodwill in establishing such policies that protects the farmers and at the same time protect these investors, and it gives an incentive to the investors. I think it is a very green area that we need to really look into. Since devolution, I think now we are seeing these things coming in. We did not envisage earlier on. And it is a very good view from the Chair Agriculture and yourself, Honorable Chairman.
Maybe so that Chair Livestock, CEO Livestock, I had asked about AI services, and you have not responded. Second, I wanted to ask, I'm seeing Director for Agriculture and the Chief Officer for Agriculture concerning the coffee jar mill in Katimok. Who are the owners of coffee jar mill? Who are the, because now, are they the farmers? Is it the county government? Or there is another owner of coffee jar mill? Now, it's becoming so complicated. The farmers want to bring their coffee, but they are worried that they don't have ownership of that coffee jar. So can we have clarity? Because I think there is a dispute from the Department of Cooperatives and the Department of Agriculture. I want to know from your position of the Department of Agriculture, who are the owners of coffee jar mill?
Let me answer the first question of Alex, and then I hand over to Director Buje to answer about Katimoko. I just wanted to say that the target is good for very realistic. All the sale yards now are modernized, and we are having KCB coming to do Inamoy and Emining. Once we are through with that, we will not be losing any revenue for the sale yards, and we will be able to achieve that.
So thank you, Chair. On the issue of a Katimok mill, there are two types of coffee mills in the country. You can either have what we call a commercial mill, where somebody who has the money, you put up your own mill, anybody who has coffee can come and mill. But of course, based on the coffee laws, you must be an estate farmer to bring your mill on a cooperative society. And then the second category of the mill is what we call the farmer's mill. So for the commercial mill, the registration fee is normally 100,000. For the farmer's mill, is 10,000 shillings. For this case of Baringo, we did an MOU between the county government, the farmers, and the investor, in this case, who is the Koreans. The Koreans agreed that they would support the construction of the mill. However, they don't own the ownership of the mill. So it's just a tripartite agreement between the farmers, the county government, and the Koreans. In the meantime, as the county is still trying to come up with the best laws, how best they can be able to offload now their shareholding to the farmers. So basically, is registered, even if you look at the records, because the line says that they have, this is a farmer's mill. So it is their mill. The Korea not supported, they gave about 50-something million, but that structure, overall, right now if you do valuation, possibly is about 7-something million, but the whole thing, because you still have some facing other things, it finally cost about 100 million. The county was able to put in 18 million around there. Yes.
The issues that we are facing outside here, you know, as we're asking these questions, we also have the gossip around this. So there was something like I met Sako. There's this Tukeni Hills cooperative.
Yes.
Now Tukeni Hills, the way they are explaining themselves is they are the ones who contributed the land. And it is like they are the ones who are now saying we are the owners. And now it is like the county government did not come out clearly on what does it entail to be our owner. If they say it's a farmers owned, it means who are these farmers? Are they in cooperatives? Are they, so what is there? So I think there is need for you and the department to organize for a all stakeholder meeting where you bring the Chinese, you bring the farmers, you bring the cooperatives, you bring the county government, so that we explain to each other exactly when someone says who owns, you should be able to tell us exactly who owns the mill. It is ownership by shares, ownership by contribution, all these technical issues.
Maybe just to add.
It's true, so that you can respond. Huh? When you say it's being owned by the farmers, who are these farmers? Are they in the societies? Have they bought any shares? Do they have shares? What is the shareholding percentage? How much shares does the government has? How much shares as the societies, all the societies in Baringo have? So that it can be clear, because now, Tukeni Hills, they are claiming that they are part of it, but now this part, the land which is there is under the Kenya Forest Services. It's not owned by anyone. It's being leased. And the Baringo Coffee Jar, they are paying the annual, the charges for the leasing independently. And the Tukeni Hills are paying for their part independently. So I think that is something you need to clear as soon as possible, because at the end of it all, it will bring problems.
So, thank you, Chair. Okay, what happened with Tukeni Hills is that during the previous regime, the county government approached Chair to support the mill construction. Then we felt how best as a department can we have this farmers' mill. The coffee farmers have an umbrella board called BCCU, Baringo County Coffee Union. But BCCU did not have what I can call the necessary infrastructure. In this case was the land and even a strong account. Tukeni Hills had the land where the mill stands, which was a lease from KFS. So we decided that there's an MOU actually between Tukeni Hills on behalf of, there's an MOU between the BCCU, Tukeni Hills, and the county government, that effect. But now, I think as things went by, you know, just like in ordinary life, when a son has more money than the father, anything can happen. Yes. So BCCU does not have financial muscle that can be compared to Tukeni Hills. So they gave us the money, the land, and I think there's need also, of course, some regulation has to be done in terms of what can Tukeni Hills be compensated, whether they should be automatic board members, because right now there are some issues with delivery of coffee from Tukeni Hills to society, just because of that misunderstanding. But however, Tukeni Hills plus so many other societies are members of the board. So I think it's just aspect of clearing some air. But Tukeni Hills played a very big role than even the union, because they had the financial capacity.
I think that is now coming out clear. So we will just take it as a summary. We don't intend to ask more questions. You'll just, and then we close.
Thank you, Chair, and I want to thank you so much for raising that issue. Yesterday it happened that I managed to attend the annual AGM that was there at Baringo Coffee Mill. And the reason why we want to actually ask for some allocation of 2 million money for what? For a coffee field day. And we were planning to have a meeting between now the farmers, the partners, and we were going to iron out those teething issues which you've actually mentioned. So I'd like to actually request this committee to actually ensure that there will be an allocation of 2 million for a Baringo Coffee Field Day, to ensure that all the farmers, there's another problem that is actually affecting the Baringo Coffee Mill. There are farmers, when the mill was being tested, farmers brought their coffee. They were used, but they were not paid to a tune of almost 1 million. It is in the budget. So these farmers are not even bringing their coffee to that coffee mill because they still feel that there's something funny about this factory. So I want to request this committee to actually take into consideration the 750,000 which is being owed by the county to the farmers. They were not paid because they were used as what? Cleaning, yes. That's number one. Number two, number two is the coffee field day. That before then, the department, with the leadership of the chairman agriculture, we are going to actually iron out all the teething issues between the Baringo Coffee Mill, the investor, and the farmers, so that by the time we are having the field day, it will be going to be something to be talked on air and to clear all the issues. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. One more response from Pundatij.
I think when the AI, you responded about the AI when you were not around, so maybe you can just repeat.
Why do you want to repeat?
Okay.
You know, you're on record, so whatever you've said is already recorded.
Okay, thank you, Chair. Thank you for the time you've accorded us and the informative questions you've asked us. I think I'll let my chair conclude. Thank you for it.
Thank you so much, Chair, for allowing us this juncture to explain and present the agriculture budget. Honorable Chair, as you know that the agriculture department or the agriculture itself and livestock is the backbone of our county as a income generating department. So, Chair, the presentation of the budget that you have given onto you, I seek your indulgence that you consider so much agriculture as the department because it's the feeder of other departments. So, like Chair, on the Department of Livestock, it happened that when last regime, I was in the livestock department and visited a slaughterhouse in Nairobi, which was Neema, and we find that slaughterhouse itself was employing over 1,000 casual workers. And what I saw there, because it is in my notes that it was employing, it was slaughtering 1,500 goats per day, which the casual worker was paid 200 per goat, depending on how many goats will he able to slaughter. And he said he was taking out 100, and the sale yard was saving 100 per day. So, Chair, my submission to the Committee on Budget is that we consider much on our slaughterhouses, which are the white elephant in Baringo County. We have been talking of Mahoi, Loruk, and it's up to now, they are not productive. So maybe you consider during this financial year to maybe give out some enough funds that we can finish before the end of the regime so that we can feel the impact of this project, which has consumed a lot of money and we have not earned the impact of it. So, Chair, thank you so much for listening to us. We feel that you are going to consider our request and submission. Thank you so much, Chair. Thank you. That's my
thank you so much, team from Agriculture. I feel like, it is like you task this committee to do the budget again. I believe you should know that you are confined to what you already have. What we will help you to do is, having listened to your submissions, we will try to move money from one corner to another corner, but it's within your budget. So we will help you to, like the pending bills, we are very much concerned about the pending bills. If you have not paid your pending bills, a pending bill is a fast charge, and you'll bear with us. So if you see money moved to pending bills, it is a fast charge. We cannot allow our people to give services and don't get paid. So I believe, CEO, we agree on that one. Pending bill is a fast charge. We will look into those critical areas, because like the coffee situation is a serious issue, that we have a good meal, but people now are starting to engage brokers. Our farmers are delivering our, we've worked so hard to improve the bushes, but the farmers that's a conditional grant. It means you abide by the conditions. So, like the fisheries, honestly, Honorable Ngetich, why would you allocate 1 million and 3 million respectively to fisheries department? The current is 1 million. Development is 3 million.
Development should be 9.
It is 8 million.
It's around 8 million.
8 million.
So, as for us, we feel, if you go to any of these hospitals now, they will insist on you avoiding red meat and taking white meat. So it means it should also shape our mind that people are being advised to take fish. Why are we not even buying? Where's the fish ponds? We have dams, small dams. We have Lake Baringo. I saw somebody who was doing fish farming in a lake using cages. So you're still I saw you go and dump fingerlings in Lake Baringo. Now, how will we get them?
Maybe for the first time, if this officer can say, with 8 million, for the first time, I think they had never gotten such a budget. And with 8 million, they will be able to supply fingerlings to almost all our lakes and the small dams around Baringo.
We should be asking Chief, when you see a chief officer or an MC or a governor at the shores of Lake Baringo and saying we are now loading the lake with fingerlings. Is it real restocking? We are stocking the lake with fish. So maybe you can say something.
Chair, perhaps if you allow me to say something on a specific area on fisheries. If you refer to the last question, that is the question that you sent to the department. We've brought out the issue of fisheries specifically. Then when we were discussing, we agreed that there be a special allocation to resources that are owned by the community. If you go to Lake Baringo, for instance, the resource belongs to all people. And it is very rare for the people of Lake Baringo to allocate resource to that. I think the county needs to take it up so that they provide a special allocation to such a resource. Otherwise, it would be overutilized by all, but not considered by anybody in terms of conserving it. So we've given it as another information.
Maybe there's something also. I do myself engage in farming along the lakes. And I can tell you the amount of fish, like this mudfish, what do you call this one? That is being harvested by everybody. So, you know, people are already consuming a product from the lake. But what measures have we taken? I saw some of the fishermen go across the lake just without anything, no fishing gear, no safety. So it is like that is another source where we are losing a lot of revenue, because I'm imagining they use crude methods of harvesting, like setting up traps. These traps at times maybe they get all of the fish and you forget, or even the lake, you know, it moves with waves. So like we could be losing a lot of fish due to methods that we are using in fishing. So I think that's an area that we need to, I agree with you that we need to allocate. So for this budget committee wants to work with you, can you give us a simple proposal? I think there's a time we did something with the CT scan. I wish we would have something to do with a cage, so that we can go there and say, now, this is our fish, we can count them, and we can sell them. Is it possible?
Yeah, it is, Chair.
Okay, do it.
And that is the direction.
Before the end of this week.
That is the direction like the Lake Victoria bordering counties are doing. Yeah. They are moving on to cage fish farming.
Yes. Okay. I think the committee, we will endeavor, if you can organize for us a trip to Lake Victoria, we see it as soon as possible, so that we come and, you know, as we talk about it, we think it is, when we say cage farming, people try to imagine how will the fish sit in that cage, and now are they even fed, that kind of thing. Thank you. So I would really want to appreciate you, unless, Waziri, you have something to close for us.
Thank you, Chair. I've concluded only that I wanted to request that I continue sitting here to present the next department.
Sir, no, we will listen to you when we will have stabilized our sugar level. So what we will do is we will break for lunch. It is not because of anything, but because also, you know, the facility has also a program. So we will invite you for lunch. Yeah, so what we will only encourage you is, can we achieve the 100% absorption? I know we still have a window. And also, there's something that we were doing. You know, the last budget, we did not see the rollover. So I think you needed to mention something about the rollover, because what we don't want is to have a budget that is minus rollover. Then it now brings a lot of problems for us in implementation. So I think that is it. Rollover, Waziri, what do you have to say about rollover? Chief Officer?
The rollovers?
Like, we are now doing the budget.
Yes.
And since we don't want to come here and say we did not implement because it is not in the budget, so are you going to bring the rollover?
Yes.
Okay, Chair, I think what you are saying is very true. And what we are planning as Treasurer with Chief Officer in charge of Finance is that we developed a template whereby as projects come for payment, it is captured. So it will be easy, maybe towards the end of this budget process, we will provide the rollover to this committee.
I think that is, okay, what we will need from the department, we've had instances where we complain of projects that maybe a member would come and say, my project is missing, or this kind of, so it is also good for you to submit for us what you think is rollover, so that we will have a working document to compare with what the Treasury will avail to us. The Treasury rollover will entail basically the projects that have crossed for payment, or that are being positioned for payments. Anything else that is not committed, and the rest you people know about them, and it would be important for this committee to know, to have them. Thank you. So you're welcome for lunch. Thank you.
I have an AOB which to be off the air. And the AOB is, we have a new form, the cashnets. The cashnets, the Baringo County has been taken as one of the county to start planning cashnets. So at the moment, we have seedlings, ready seedlings for cashnets. Don't want to be on air? Okay. Then we are proposing, and my director, that we give the members, those who come from regions where we grow mangoes, mostly mangoes. If you come from a region where you grow mangoes, please, rolling for camera,